over here. Ready? Okay, I'm done. You're so cute. I can't stand it. All right. I have to practice now. Yes. All done. All done. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, ready? Okay. No. She's probably just gonna be in this, and that's fine. Okay, she thinks we're still. Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing a super chill. I'm sorry, I'm so paranoid she's gonna jump on me. Okay. Ready? Okay. So today we're going to be doing a super chill hips and hamstrings flow. We won't be doing anything standing. It's really laid back. I'm in my sweatpants and just really comfortable clothes. I'm obviously in the comfort of my own home with all my fur babies. So if you guys just want to get comfortable, something that you're able to relax in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to begin on our backs. So however you want to get down there. Little wolf, are you going to help me? Okay. Babe. All right, so go ahead and make your way onto your back however you get there. We're just going to draw the knees into the chest, kind of wake up the low back a little bit so you can give yourself a big hug, maybe gently rock side to side, whatever feels comfortable. And then send both the legs out long. And we'll just start by bringing the right leg up. So if this is your first stretch of the day, maybe you aren't able to reach your calves or your toes yet, just simply grab behind the thigh, or if you're feeling a little bit more flexible, you can always grab the calf. Maybe you bring the fingers to the big toe. Again, just kind of checking in with your body, doing what feels good. We're not really going to be working up a sweat today, so this should all just feel really, really yummy. And lots of opening throughout the hips and behind the legs. So every inhale, see if you can find some length through the spine, length through the back of the leg, and then every exhale, see if you can pull it maybe just a little bit closer to your chest. Good, and then we'll slowly start to bend this right knee. Bring the arms out into a T. Bring that right knee over to the left, and then gaze is going to go out over the right fingertips. So just super gentle twist. Don't feel like you have to go super deep into this. We just started. If your knee doesn't touch the ground, that's fine. Just make sure you're consciously driving that right shoulder down into the mat. Few more breaths here. And on an inhale, bring it back through center and send it out in front of you. Same thing with the other leg. So bring that left leg up towards the ceiling or the sky, wherever you're at. And hands can go again to the back of the thigh. Maybe they're on the shin or the calf, or maybe you can bring the left fingers to the big toe. So just check in. Each side's probably going to be a little different. You'll find that maybe one side is much more open than the other side, and that's pretty normal. Hi, what are you doing, Nugget? So again, every inhale, finding some length through the back of the leg. Every exhale, maybe you can just get it a little bit closer to the chest. So finding your edge, but not forcing into anything that feels painful. And then inhale, start to bend that left knee. Send the arms out into a T. Exhale, left knee over to the right. Excuse you. Gaze is out over the left fingertips. And again, if that left knee doesn't come to the floor, that's okay. Just keep the twist super gentle here. Make sure you're grounding down through that left shoulder. Few more breaths. Inhale that left knee back through center. And then bring the right knee in to meet it. Give yourself another big hug. And then slowly start to do some rocks. And then rock all the way up to the top of the mat. Hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Check in with the back of the legs. Make sure you're grounding down through all four corners of the palms, pressing up and out of the shoulders. And then inhale, we'll send that right leg up. Exhale, bend at the knee, stack the right hip over top of the left. Really drive down through the right shoulder. So opening up through the hips here. You'll probably feel it a little bit through that right side body. Inhale, straighten out that right leg. Exhale, send it all the way through. Low lunge, drop the back knee. Good, so just finding our low lunge for a second. We're really looking to stack this knee over top of the ankle and make sure that we're not just resting on the thigh. So we're staying pretty active through the upper body. And on an exhale, we're gonna work our way back into the half splits. Inhale back into that low lunge. And you can find movement here, so you can continue to kind of inhale and exhale between the two, or if you want to hold one for a little bit longer before moving into the next, that's fine too. Again, it's your body, your practice, so just make sure you're doing what feels best. So wherever you're at, start to work your way back into that low lunge. We're gonna bring the right hand on the inside of the right foot, wiggle or heel toe that right foot out to the edge of the mat, finding your way into lizard pose. We're gonna stay up on the hands here for a moment, and this is really gonna tap into that left thigh. So once we start to kind of sink down into lizard, we really get into the right hip joint, and they're both great. But we're gonna focus on this left thigh first. So stay up on the hands and really try to drive the left thigh down towards the mat, pulling it forward. Make sure you're breathing straight into those areas of discomfort. The hips can normally be a pretty intense place to open up. Hips and hamstrings for me. So it's really, really important that we're using our breath instead of holding it, which is when our body starts to go into that flight or fight mode. And then everything tenses up, and then we really don't give ourselves a chance to release anything. So long story short, keep breathing. Start to roll onto the outer edge of that right foot. This is where we can begin to sink into that right hip joint a little bit more. If you're comfortable on your hands, maybe you want to work your way down to your forearms. That's an option as well. Sometimes I just like to rock side to side here, create a little bit of movement. Good, and slowly work your way back up onto the hands. And then heel toe that right foot all the way over to the left. Bakira, are you being naughty? And then coming into half pigeon on the right side. And ideally, we want that shin to be parallel to the top of our mat. Now, this isn't going to be feasible for most of us, but as long as we're making a conscious effort to do that, that's totally fine. So here we're really, again, driving that left hip forward and down, pulling the right hip back. super big opening through the hips here. You can stay up on the hands, or again, if you feel comfortable here, take it a little bit further, come down onto the forearms. If you're really comfortable here, you can even crawl the arms out and come onto your belly. I'm going to stay on my forearms for now because my hips aren't that warmed up. So just make sure that you're doing what is best for you, as always. Check in with that breathing, make sure you're not holding it. And after we've given ourselves a moment here, let's come back up onto our hands if you've come down onto your belly or your forearms. And then we're gonna look over our left shoulder for that back foot. And then with our left hand, see if we can grab it. So taking the stretch into that left thigh a bit. And this is a really great chance if you are playing with flipping your grip, you can start to do that coming into King Pigeon, or you can just keep holding on to that back foot. But this is a good opportunity to go into that if it's something you're working on. And slowly let that back leg down. We're gonna tuck the back toes, ground down through the hands, and then exhale, send that right leg back. Shake it out for a second, maybe walk out your dog. Sometimes I like to do little circles with my leg that we just used. Good, and then find your downward dog again. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bend that left knee. Stack the hip over top of the right. Ground down through that left shoulder. Inhale, straighten out the left leg. Exhale, look in between the hands. Bring that left foot all the way through into your low lunge. Drop the back knee. So find your low lunge again. Make sure you're not resting on that thigh, but everything's staying active in the upper body. Stack the knee over top of the ankle. Hi, Bagheera. On an exhale, slowly work your way back into that half split. So spine is staying nice and long here. We're hinging at the hips. And then inhale back into that low lunge. Again, you have the opportunity to hold either of these if you need to, or you can find that movement. So going in and out of low lunge and half splits. Just make sure you're moving with your breath. I like to exhale into the half splits and then inhale into the low lunge. Maybe you like to do it the other way around. So there's no right or wrong way to do that. Few more breaths wherever you're at. On an inhale, find your way back into that low lunge. Bring the left hand on the inside of the left foot and then heel toe or step the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Again, coming into lizard pose. Staying up on our hands for a moment, really tapping in to that right thigh. See if you can drive that right hip down and forward, pull the left hip back. Check in with your breathing. Make sure you're not holding it. Hey, you. And then slowly start to roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. Starting to tap into that left hip joint here. You have the option to come down onto the forearms if you want. You can find stillness here. You can find a little bit of wiggle room and movement. Good, take a few more breaths. On an inhale, if you're on your forearms, come back up onto your hands. And then we'll wiggle that left foot over all the way to the right side of our mat, coming into half pigeon on the left side. So again, just looking for the shin to be parallel to the top of the mat. We're consciously working towards that. So we're driving the right hip forward and down, pulling the left hip back. Can be on our hands here. Again, you can come down onto your forearms. Maybe you're on your belly. Just ease your way into it though, so don't force anything. Check in with your breathing. It's super easy to just start holding your breath and not even notice. So make sure you're consciously breathing in, breathing out. If you have nothing else to focus on your breath. On an inhale, start to come back up onto the hands if you were on the ground. Take a look back over your right shoulder. Reach with that right hand for the back foot. And you can stay here and just really, really work into that right thigh. Or again, if you want to practice flipping your grip, if you did it on the other side, I definitely recommend doing it on this side, or at least giving it a go, just to make sure that you're evening out sides. This is a really, really great skill to practice with a strap if you have one on you and you're just kind of playing with it, learning how to do it. That's how I learned, and it really comes in handy. Slowly exhale and release that back leg down. Tuck the back toes, ground down through the hands. Think chaturanga arms, and then send the left leg back, downward dog. So again, you can walk out your dog for a second. Maybe do hip circles with that left leg. Good, and then find your way back into that downward dog for a moment. Inhale, look in between the hands. Take a nice slow walk. And we'll just stay here for a moment in our forward fold. So let's go ahead and just grab opposite elbows. Let the head and neck get really heavy. So crown of the head is reaching down towards the ground. You can take a bend in the knees here if you need to. And maybe you just hang, or maybe it feels nice to sway side to side. And then on an inhale, bring the hands down to the ground, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to bend at the knees and come to your seat. And then from here, you can work your way onto your back. Or maybe you stay on a seat, take a meditation. Maybe you want to go on your back and take a Shavasana. So this is a part of the practice where it's up to you. If you want to stay on your mats for a few more minutes, I would highly encourage it. Just kind of let everything that we just did sink in. But I will leave that up to you all. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.